Hi there, Leo. It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm doing your 2018 overview reading. So I laid out a card for each month and then I used a different deck for each quarter, but I'm going to read it a little more freestyle because I feel it just flows better than being stuck by reading one card, then the next, and the next. What I'm getting right off is um, there is for some of you an elephant in the room, and for some of you, um, it's like you've just denied a part of you for so long, and it's like you're not going to be able to deal with it anymore, in the sense that, like, you always wanted to be fill in the blank. You've always wanted to live fill in the blank. You've always wanted to, fill in the blank, whatever, but you can't do it because you have kids, you don't have enough money, your parents would think you're crazy, your friends, blah, 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 blah. That here comes out the list of reasons why you can't live, you can't do this thing. Some of you're in a bad relationship and you have to get out, and you're in denial about it. One way to see if it's you is if when you can't talk to your friends anymore about your relationship because they start to glaze over, or they've just told you, like, if you're not going to do anything about it, like, I can't even hear about it anymore. So that's a good, like, whatever your friend, or they change the subject, or they don't, or you feel yourself, oh, I can't talk about this anymore because they don't understand. It's like, it's probably not because they're jerks. It's probably because it's like, do something about it. Like, they just can't stand it to see you not dealing with it anymore. And that's just for some people. A bad job situation. You got to stop tolerating a crappy relative, a frenemy, whatever. You hate where you live. Your career path is wrong. But I think for some of you, it's not going to be that negative. It's going to be something like, I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to do this, but I ended up somehow in this career, and I've make this much money. I can't possibly do it. And it's like, this is the year where it's like, you know what? Life is too short, to not do it, really. And I've got to figure out a way. And it doesn't mean quit your job, move to Hawaii, but it means I got to start making this happen this year. Like, I can't ignore it anymore. And you do have a Tower card here. And the Tower card with the Eight of Swords, this is like the ultimate denial duo. It's just like you are refusing to look at something, to see something. And the universe comes in with the Tower and just shakes it up. And it can be scary, but it's like you finally have that breakdown or breakthrough. And sometimes, you're holding something in, you can't figure it out. And all of a sudden you just sort of lose it, or you just break down and cry, or you have it out with someone or whatever. And then often it's like in the aftermath, isn't always so great right off, but it's like all of a sudden you're actually able to talk to someone. It's like you're no longer ignoring an issue or skirting around some issue, and you finally are able to have the conversation you've needed to have. And so it's better. Things get better, but it feels like they have to get worse before they get better. Or you've just accepted that, well, this is the way it is, and you've kind of pleasantly resigned yourself to it. But you deep down, it just really isn't what you want. This relationship, this whatever it is. I mean, the relationship is coming up because the Four of Wands is here, which is the marriage card, the home card. Something in the home has to change. But I mean, it could be anything else, but it's something you need to release. You need to walk away from something that it's like some area of your life. For some of you, this could be like you've wanted to start this business and you have to accept that it's not going to work. It's not solvent. And that can be really hard because you've put a lot of time and energy and money into it, and it's a lot of passion, and it's like, but it's like, where do you draw the line? How much money can you sink into something that just isn't working? But, maybe then in the calm of it, you figure out something better, because it's almost like you surrender. You're like, okay, you know what? I don't know how to fix this. I don't know how to do this. I can't do this anymore. I need to make a change, because just the way, and I usually don't read the moon card, but just the way she's sort of throwing her hands up there. She's like, I don't know. It's that in those times of surrender when we're like, I don't know what to do. But it's like you're finally saying, but something needs to happen. Something needs to change. But it isn't until then where you're like, you open yourself up like that change and healing can come in. And let me tell you, so as much as you're like, thanks for the super shitty reading, this is great, Jen. You have the Star card twice, okay? You have the Wheel of Fortune twice. The wheels are turning. This getting out of denial is very, very good. Oh, look at the Star card up here fell off, and you have one of my favorite decks cards. And look at I love the depiction of the Six of Cups. It reminds me of going to swimming holes when I was young and just hanging out in the summer, and things seem so simple, and so you're just enjoying the moment, enjoying your friends, enjoying the simple things in life, just being there. And some of that is being a kid and innocence and not having, mortgages and all that stuff. But it's like getting back. It wasn't a mistake. This came like getting back to a simplistic time. How did everything become so complicated in a certain area? Well, it doesn't have to be this dramatic. It doesn't have to be this complicated unless we let it. And the dog with the stick is so pretty. I like that. So getting back and the surrendering, and like, maybe I can't do it all. I can't do everything. Starts to bring healing. And when you have the Star card twice, let me tell you that, so you go from, it's like this act of the breakthrough, the surrender, I got to do something differently. Things need to change. You have the Victory card. And it's actually interesting because it's bringing some people closer together. Accolades, homecoming, something with the kids. Maybe a kid had been something with your kid and you were in denial about it. But once you sort of talk about it, the healing begins, and it's okay. That's only for obviously a very few. And so also that surrender is the Strength card. That's what I feel. This card is about making yourself vulnerable, opening up, saying, I'm not the strongest person in the world. I can't keep everything together all the time. I can't do it all. I don't want to do this anymore. That takes that takes strength, is saying, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not sure. I'm fearful. It's like being authentic, being true. Oh, it's amazing. You have the Empress was under here. Oh, and the Tower. These two, they're going to come together, but they're possibly, and maybe the best thing is to come apart, but they're going to come together. Something's going to come together. It doesn't have to be a relationship, by surrendering, by dealing with the elephant in the room. Like, I'm not happy here. Make it be something as simple as that. Like, I want to move. I am not happy here. It's -14, which it was like -4 today in Vermont. I'm actually doing this New Year's Eve. I've really been busy and distracted, so I apologize. My videos haven't been getting out there the way they have historically. But it's then you find it's like, for those of you that it was a relationship that it just wouldn't work at all, if you find out that having this, dealing with this elephant in the room and maybe you'll be separated for a while, but it's like you're finally able to be totally authentic, open, and honest, and can find a new level of experience or a brand new relationship, a brand new job, a brand new whatever that you knew had to change, but you were having trouble figuring out how to make that happen. Um, Communication, changing how you communicate. Messages, better dialogue, speaking up for yourself. I mean, Leo, us fire signs tend to be pretty vocal, but it's like instead of trying to always be the leader and everything's going to be great and I'm going to make it happen and blah, 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 maybe you're sick of being the one that has all the energy and the motivation, and you need someone else to pick up the slack. And meet you halfway. But whatever you're opening up about, it brings this healing, and you end with this whole change in this Wheel of Fortune, this whole change. Like, I feel like by the end of the year, you're going to be like, I have changed my life completely. Like, I have completely made it on this bigger, better, like this total new beginning, this new way of life. Like, you've transformed, that's what I'm trying to say. You've completely transformed your life. And maybe because of this denial, like you didn't even think you needed to. And you're just like, oh my God, like how did I get from where I started at the beginning of the year to here? But it's amazing. It was sort of tough in some areas, but it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm so much happier and healthier and more balanced and more authentic in my relationships and my work and everything. And this 10 of Pentacles, and you have the Fool card, taking a leap of faith. This is a card of richness, not just in money, but in legacy and family and foundations. You build like this beautiful foundation for everything else that's going to come next, that's going to come forward after this this year, this cycle. And I wonder what your astrology is like, if there's some astrological thing happening that this would make sense, that would relate to this. But well, I don't need to keep babbling on and on. Remember, you have these gorgeous star cards. So healing, in the wake of the Tower is healing. It's creativity. It's inspiration. It's an opportunity to rebuild again in the way that works for you now at this point in your life. So I hope you have a wonderful 2018. Take care.